It's Bridgette Lyn Dolgoff. Going to be a little bit sideways. Tried to set up the camera so I could do this out of my vehicle. Anyway, just got done from a hike. I'm just going to have a little coconut water. I want to kind of give a short teaching, something that I was thinking about on the hike today. And a little bit about awareness, or the third tension, and shamanism. So in shamanism, everybody has like a different kind of shamanism that they participate in. And it depends on all your teachings, and then the teachings that you take in and work with. Some never kind of suit you, and then some, bubble below the surface for a long time, and then they come back into kind of play. Sometimes you have to learn more, or you have to get more of your energetic structures and filled up and set up and reconstructed sometimes in order to utilize some of the work. So shamanism, I'm always getting grief about shamanism. Shamanism is a individualized process, rarely group, rarely mass consciousness. However, I do believe that real practicing shamanism begins to change the construct once you move to a, not a higher level of power, just another maybe realization states of awareness, where you have those states all the time, where the world changes quite a bit. I just saw a coyote run across the road. Wile E. Coyote. Woohoo! So maybe could be a little bit of fun involved. All right, so then there's ceremony, indigenous ceremony, and that can be linked to what the natives call medicine person. And they practice a level of shamanism, but it's more working with the earth and the beings and the beings of earth. Sometimes galactic beings can come into play. And then sometimes their work, is individualized. Plant medicine, things like that. They take all of it into play, the physical and the non-physical. And then sometimes it plays out into a ceremony. They're taught a ceremony, and then they take it to a group level. So in the last 3 years, I've been guided back to ceremony and working on, taking it into group. But it's hard to come from a lifetime of individualized shamanism and try to, create that into like group. So, all right, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a teaching, not a channeling, but I'm going to give you a teaching. And a teaching is what I have to teach and how my stuff's morphed from other people who have taught me different things. So, awareness, I'm going to call it awareness and the third attention. In science, now they have the third string, and they know that there's different kinds of dimensions. And I think that people nowadays kind of more understand that. But I would like to call it levels of awareness and attention, the third attention, and where we're holding our attention in that awareness, which is a little bit different, but maybe easier. So when I move into a 10th layer of awareness, or even being able to embark. So there's like this physical world, and then there's the other world, non-physical world. And within the non-physical world, that's where a lot of the infinite is, and the level of infinite or omnipresent or whatever you want to call it, structures. So whenever I know I'm moving into those attentions out of the third, and say then I start moving into the fourth, and I've been all the way through the 64s. 64, you want to call them dimensional layers awareness. I work through them on myself, in the world around me, animals, whatever, soil, as well as work on it on a physical level. But how I know I'm moving into the awareness or the everything, dreaming worlds, interdimensional, whatever you want to call them. There's an awareness that takes place when you first step into it. And now I can just kind of shift myself. I can feel it in my torso some way. Sometimes the energy will start to warm up, maybe in my third chakra, my heart chakra, sometimes my second chakra. And then I can just feel everything shift. And I know when I've shifted into the awareness state, because the sun and the light, it doesn't dim. I don't know. It's not fogged or anything like that. It's more diffused, but it doesn't. Then when I'm standing in front of the sun is more powerful into my body and my third chakra, right? So the sun shifts in this. So the sun doesn't lose any of its power. It shifts its power to an awareness state, that so I can utilize that sun as energy to generate power to do the work I need to do, or it can fill me and heal me. But the sun shifts because I shifted. So I shift the attention when I step into the other plane. And then what happens is sometimes when people are bumping up, this is the most important part I wanted to talk about. So in each of those layers, first there's the diffusion, the light diffusion, which shifts its attention, and it shifts everything in this world attention. Everything in this world has two components: the physical that we see, that we think is all of it, and then the state of awareness that living being, energy, or organism, or whatever you want to call it, is. That is what it really is, not what it looks like in the physical world, right? It's kind of a hard aspect to grasp. Then there's the no thing world. That is that's the world. I'm just watching these people go by. It's like the grandma and grandpa convention. All of a sudden there's all these cars going to the place for the trail. Must be like some kind of club. Maybe it was like a Sierra Club hike thingy or something like that. The geriatric one. Glad to see they're still out. Gives me hope. Anyway, so there's like 30 cars like following each other. So they must have had breakfast. Could be a photography group too. Okay, so anyway, sorry about that. Off on that tangent. Okay, so then there's like this other world that's very hard to get to that I call the Nothing, or the nothing. And that's a whole other place that we're not going to discuss here, because we're going to stay within the physical world, which also includes lower awareness. So we're in the third, and there's the second and the first till you get to the zero, which is the 0 point, I believe. Anyway, oops. All right, my machine said use caution. Okay, anyway, so we're going to talk about this teaching real quick. So, oh, they're starting to kind of park around me. They're like a seagull. Anyway, so the teaching, which I'm going to go ahead and end right now, and then I'm going to reload. Okay, so part 2. Look for part 2 in the teaching.